Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Brittany Peters, the Meetings Coordinator at IASP. I would like to welcome you to today's webinar to be presented by Melissa Hopkins. Today's topic on today's webinar is going to be how to use the 2018 Congress mobile app. On your screen, you should see a poll. If you could quickly answer this question. Thank you for your responses. Feel free to use the question and answer chat box on the right side of your screen to ask any questions you may have during this webinar. We will answer as many questions as possible after the demonstration. If you have not done so already, please like us on Facebook, tweet at us at the hashtag IASP Congress, and follow the IASP page on Twitter for all of our World Congress page updates. Make sure you have registered for the Congress. There are only 19 days left until we gather in Boston. We're so excited to see everyone. The Congress will have a variety of new and innovative sessions, including pain management and elite athletes, worldwide efforts in pain advocacy, pain education, tips on how to better communicate your science to the public, and understanding the process to get published in pain and pain reports. There will also be an innovation lab that will provide opportunities for an in-depth discussion with plenary lecturers, as well as showcase new technology and medical devices. And finally, there's still some limited space available in our satellite symposia and refresher course sessions. And if you have not booked your hotel yet, August 27th is the last day to reserve a room in the ISP block. After that, the rates will increase. So let's get ready for today's webinar. I now have the pleasure of introducing our speaker, Melissa Hopkins, who will guide us through today's demonstration of the mobile app. Melissa, take it away.
Thank you so much, Brittany. I'm very excited to share with you guys the mobile app for this year's World Congress on Pain. So what I'd like to do is just kind of go through a couple of items here on the PowerPoint, a couple of slides, and then we'll kind of actually dive right into the mobile app and walk you through some of the usability items within the app, such as the schedule, the exhibitor list, the posters, speakers, all of that kind of information. So first, obviously, if you have not yet downloaded the app, simply search in your app store for IASP World Congress 2018, or simply IASP would probably bring it up for you in the Apple App Store or the Google Play. The app is available, of course, for download on your iOS and Android devices. Note that you do have minimum requirements for each of those devices. However, most of us are probably, on much higher operating systems than what is the minimum requirement. So we will definitely be sharing these slides. So the direct links for iOS and Android can be found here. If your device does not meet the minimum requirements, don't worry. We still can allow you guys access to use the mobile app in the web mobile version. So that's basically, if you wanted to even access the mobile app on your desktop, for example, to start some pre-show planning. Certainly you can log in on your desktop and start working on your agenda, marking some favorites, doing things like that. And once you have logged into your profile on your desktop, any of the activity that you have done, of course, is stored within your profile. And when you actually go to then your device, once you download the app from Apple or Android, that same activity would be located in your profile on your actual device. So feel free, obviously, to not only use this if you do not have an iOS or Android device, but of course, utilize it now on your desktop as a pre-show planner. If at any time you need support, we do have a direct email address, help@experientengage.com, for any app-related questions. One of the things that we definitely will touch on when we go through the demo is how to log into your profile. So logging into the app is not required. However, we do encourage logging into the mobile app because your profile in the app is directly connected to your registration. So anything that you may have pre-registered for, such as the refresher courses, the satellite symposias, all of those will automatically sync into your profile, into your own personal schedule. Things like your contact information, we are able to sync all of that data directly from the registration system, so you don't have to take the time, to create your own profiles. The login credentials for the mobile app, as seen here, can be found on your registration confirmation. The ID or your username is going to be your registration ID, and then there will be an access code. It's kind of a generic 5-letter code here that you will need. So we wanted to make sure that you knew where to locate this information. One of those places will be on your registration confirmation. Next, if you are in the app and you cannot locate your registration confirmation, certainly on the login page, you can choose to send my login. And what you can do then is simply plug in your email address. Of course, your email does need to be associated with your registration record. Once you plug in your email address, you can have an automatic password recovery email sent to you, and that happens instantaneously. So you plug in your email and you get that email recovery in your inbox with that registration ID and access code. For all of our international attendees out there, due to the recent GDPR regulations, we do have a privacy policy in which you do need to make sure you have accepted. If you are in the mobile app and you are having trouble logging in and you are an international attendee, we want to make sure that you have updated the privacy policy and accepted it. So this is done in your registration record. So first and foremost, you would go out to the registration site and log in using your IASP account username and password. Then once you are on the dashboard page, click onto your profile. On the profile page, you're just going to scroll down to where you see I agree to the privacy policy. There should be links there for you to be able to read all about it as well. And once you have accepted it, then of course just scroll down a tad further, click next to be able to then log out of your registration record if you choose to do so. And of course, then you can go back to your mobile app and attempt your login credentials again, your registration ID and your access code, and then you should be able to log in. So again, this will apply to our international attendees. If you need any assistance, you may contact our registration customer service at wcp@experient-inc.com or at the following phone number. Also, if anyone has any other registration-related questions, feel free to reach out to this same contact. So what can you do in the app? We'll go ahead and hop into the app and I'll kind of walk you through all of these different items, things like searching for sessions, adding them to your agenda, searching for posters, marking favorites, taking notes. We do have a great interactive component with our app in which you can connect and also message with other attendees. You can post to the activity feed, of course, gain access to the exhibitor list and the floor map. So just a few items, that we're going to walk through in this webinar today. The next screen is just going to show you just some of the example screens that you will be seeing in the mobile app. So just wanted to point that out if you're looking at this PowerPoint later, just some items in the app that we'll be taking a look at. So next, I would like to go ahead and bring up your mobile app. So what I'm showing you right now, of course, is going to be the actual web mobile version of the app as referenced earlier. This is on my desktop, so you are able to access the app as you see in its current state, in its desktop state. What I'm going to do for you, so we can mimic what it looks like on your actual phone device, is size our window down. And now you can see that this will exactly reflect the app as it will look when you download it from the Apple or Google Play app stores. First, coming into the app, you can notice that there is a login on the upper right. We do not require you to log into the app, so you're able to come in here and go through the schedule. You can look at the speakers. Excuse me, there's a lot of different things that you can do in terms of, just taking a look at different content within the app without being logged in. However, there are a number of items that would require you to log in, such as registering for a refresher course or a satellite symposia, making a post to our activity feed. So again, that's why we want to stress the importance of the login and where to find that information. So similar to the slide that you saw in the PowerPoint, if you click on the login, here is the login page. It is asking you for your ID and access code. Again, if you do not have that, you may try to send my login and simply type in your email address and hit recover. And of course, as long as your email is tied to that registration record, we will automatically email you your password recovery information. So let's say I have that information now. I'm going to go ahead and get myself logged in. Okay, so now you see that I am logged in and it will have my profile information. So if I click on my name at this point, now you can see this is my individual profile. Feel free to upload your own picture. You can, pull a picture from your own device. You can take a look at your own profile. Of course, as mentioned previously, all of your information will automatically sync in from your registration record, so no need to fill out any of that information. But we do have some additional, if you wanted to put your own bios, social media links, those are some additional items that you could certainly add into your app profile. Okay. If you needed to make any changes to your actual registration, we of course do give you an automatic link to edit your registration, and this will automatically log you into your registration record. So basically, if you needed to make a change, here's a quick way to get to the actual registration site. If you have booked housing with us, you will see your housing confirmation listed here with the confirmation number, and then you'll be able to see all of your hotel amenities. And then going further down, you see things like your own personal schedule, any kind of activity that you've done in the app. You'll be able to export things like your favorites, your notes, your connections, and we'll walk through some of that here in a little bit. Moving on. So basically when you log in, or when you first download the app, of course, this is going to be the home page. So as you can see, we can click through some of these various buttons on the home page. You also have some of these quick buttons here at the bottom. So if I wanted to quickly go to just my schedule, but of course we do have the more, which will get us to the full option of all of the items that we'll be reviewing here in the app. First, of course, I wanted to touch on the program. So obviously we have, all of the things that are happening at the Congress this year. You're able to search the program based on date. So you can click the various dates at the top. You can search on keywords. So things like emerging, oops, sorry, I don't know how to spell. Emerging techniques, for example. Let's say I wanted to look for that particular session, and I wanted to go ahead and actually register for it. I can click this and it will take me to an embedded browser to the registration site to go ahead and make that transaction. Obviously, we have your information from registration stored from your profile information that you logged in with, so you can easily register for things like the refresher courses and the satellite symposias. Also, here on the schedule, we have certain filtering options. So again, if you're looking for a satellite symposia, feel free to, take advantage of some of the filtering options, and then that will certainly pull out only the items that are satellite symposias. So take a glance at each of the filtering options, searching by session type, whether it be the symposia or certain scientific sessions, the type of workshops. We also have the ability to search by topics. So that's another handy way to be able to search on the types of sessions or even, the types of posters that you might be looking for. Okay, so just wanted to show you that in this view, of course, it is sorted by dates and times. You can see the various time slots here. When I click into a session to get further information, you can see I can do a lot of things here. I can mark it as my favorite. So if it's something that I'm interested in, just kind of tagging to kind of remember for later. Again, I can register for the symposias or the refresher courses. I can take notes. So if I'm in the session and I want to be able to take notes on something that's going on, I can certainly, as you can see, I already had a note here, and I can add to it. And you have, extensive area, to take as extensive notes as you need to. Of course, you see the dates, the times, you see the room or location. Description, if there's any sort of handouts in terms of, like, in this case, we do have the agenda. You can click on that, and of course, can bring up the PDF of the agenda. So there's a lot of, more detailed information once you dive into a session. So again, I'm just going to kind of maybe search for emerging, there we go. If you are looking for any of the other sessions that do not require registration, obviously you're able to simply add items to your calendar. So in this case, I was able to just add this mobile health technologies session to my calendar. I can also see, what speakers are speaking. In addition to this particular session, we have certain presentations tied to the session. So if you scroll down, you can see that we've got these presentations that are associated with that session. And again, you can see the speaker that is tied to that presentation. So now that I have added this particular item to my calendar, if I quickly jump to my schedule, there it is there. So when it does not require registration, feel free to, like I said, come into the desktop version today or download the app on your device and start building out your own personal agenda. Okay. Again, anything that you have already registered for will already be pre-populated in your My Schedule. So coming back to the homepage again, we all know that we want to pre-plan in advance. So the My Schedule is here. It's the second button as well. Of course, if you're looking for a specific speaker, you can search for them by first name or last name. So I'm looking for Dr. Jameson, and I marked him as my favorite speaker, made a note about him, and I can see what sessions or presentations he is associated with. Posters is another list that you are able to kind of even add to your agenda. So we do have the extensive list of posters happening on the 13th, the 14th, 15th, and 16th. But again, we can certainly add this particular item to my agenda in case I'm interested in viewing this poster on Sunday at 9:30. I can add that to my schedule. Okay, and as you see, I'm always kind of coming back home. That's always, kind of, hey, I'm going to start over. Let's go home. Then we have also the activity feed. We can search for other attendees. We've got the exhibit hall map, the actual exhibitor list, general information, and then, of course, a global search. So I'm going to click into the More menu. And we can see here that we've got additional options here. So all of the things that I was marking as favorites, so if I just kind of simply was marking, a session to look at later, or, I really liked, Dr. Jameson, he was a great speaker. I marked him as my favorite. So anything that was marked as a favorite in the app, of course, is going to be contained in your My Favorites. And you, of course, have the opportunity to export your favorites to your email. Your notes as well. So again, in the various locations that I had taken some notes, they will all be contained here. And again, I can export to my email. My documents. So for example, on that symposia where I had viewed the agenda, once I have viewed a document, it will then store that I have viewed that document in my documents. Again, my schedule. My registration, which is basically the same as clicking on my name to get to my profile, and my QR code. So my QR code is going to be a handy thing once you get on site and you can't find your registration confirmation. You basically, can download the mobile app, get yourself logged in, and easily just scan the QR code at one of the scan and go quick check-in areas in registration to be able to quickly and easily print your badge. So next, of course, is an area devoted to the program again. So again, this is going to be the full program. Again, the filters, if we wanted to search by session type or by topic, or your speakers, your posters. So we pretty much just kind of reviewed that going to the program as a whole, but here we have all of the items broken out again. Next, I wanted to point out the networking components. So we can look for other attendees. So Brittany, I'm going to look for you. Again, you can search by first name, last name, or even their company. So that's what your company is listed as, IASP Secretariat. As an attendee, I can connect with others. Now, I am required to be logged in to even view the attendee list. So if I'm not logged in, this is one of the areas that I would not be able to see until I actually have logged in. So again, I'm going to search for Brittany again. And once I have found, oh, there she is, I would love to connect with her. So I can hit this connect button. And what that's going to do, that's going to send a request to Brittany. That request will be not only emailed to her, it will also be sent to her as a push notification in her mobile app if she has downloaded it. And she's going to get a notification that Melissa Hobson wants to connect with her. And she can either accept or deny that connection request. Those notifications will also store in your inbox. And so you'll see that I have one new message. And you'll see that I already have a connection that has been accepted between myself and Devin Hartzell. Okay, so now that myself and Devin are connected, I can now see some additional contact information for Devin. In addition, I can message direct with Devin. Hi, do you want to meet for Okay, and I can send a direct message to Devin. So again, anytime any activity happens, back and forth between attendees, whether it's, connection requests or messages back and forth, she will get a notification in her inbox that I have now sent her a new message. If she replies, I will get a notification in my inbox saying that she has now replied. So we do kind of notify you not only in your inbox, but also with push notifications that, you do have a new message. One of the items I do want to go back to, now that Devin and I are connected, she is listed under My Connections. She has shared with me her email. It looks like just, kind of some city, state information. Under your profile, we can manage your own profile settings. So by default in the attendee list, all that you're going to see is just their name and company. We don't divulge any, additional information until you have connected with a person. So if I wanted to manage my profile settings, again, I just go to my profile and I can click privacy. I can remove myself from that attendee list completely. So if you wanted to opt out, this is how you would do so. However, we do encourage, to be able to connect with others and communicate and share, your contact information. The connections is a great way to do that. However, you can manage your profile settings or your privacy settings if you wanted to have all of this information visible to everyone. Of course, by default, we're only showing name and company, but as a user, if I wanted to have all of this information visible by anyone that can see the attendee list, I can certainly mark everything as public. Also, let's say I wanted to keep my email only to those that connected with me. So that information is only going to be shared with anybody that I've actually connected with. But let's say I don't want anybody to have my phone number. I can mark that particular field as private. So as a user, I can certainly control my own settings in terms of my profile fields and, of course, save at the bottom. So connecting with one another is a great tool. Another great tool is going to be the activity or photo feed. It is a little early, so we don't have too many posts. As you can see, Brittany posted in the activity feed, we're excited to meet you in Boston. So I can see who posted it. Now that she has a comment here, I can add to it. So kind of think of it like almost like a Twitter feed in which, people can post messages. I can create a brand new post, and I can even add a photo. So this will be a lot of fun for you all to be able to kind of post to this message board or this activity feed, share pictures and photos and comments, and you can comment on other people's postings. So this will be a lot of fun. And again, you do need to be logged in order to see and post to the activity feed. Okay. Moving on, of course, we do want to give you guys information about the exhibitors. So we have your full exhibitor list here. Again, you can search, on keywords, Canadian Pain Society, for example. Click into them. You can see any other additional information, but also the link to their booth space on the actual floor map. So if you're looking for something specific, you can search for the company and then click into their booth to find where they are on the actual floor map. And you can navigate around on the floor map. You can, kind of maybe do some navigation here where if you're here, you mark that as your starting point. And let's say I'm looking for the Canadian Pain Society now, and I plot that as my end. So I have start and an end. Oh, that wasn't right. Let's start over. We've got, let's say I'm going to look for an exhibitor. I can plot it. And here I want to search for Canadian. There we go. So I'm at 352, I want to go to 33, and you can kind of see the relation of where you are to where you need to go. So we do have some navigational opportunities there on the floor map. Of course, we're going to give you a link to just hop right to that floor map. And then just some general information, of course, home. We always give you a home. Search, again, global search. So anything that I have recently viewed, what was the name of that person that I just connected with? Oh, Devin. There she is. So, you know, you can kind of see a history of some of the things that you just were recently searching on, which is nice. Our links to social media, of course, all of them, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Flickr. And lastly, of course, again, if you need any support, if you click the app support, that will start writing an email from your email client to our help@experientengage.com email address. Just our general app policies, a link for a video on how to use the app. But one of the things I definitely want to point out is refresh. So anytime, you know, updates have been made in the app, once you launch the app, you'll see that the app is just going to take a couple of seconds just to load because it is refreshing the data. But if you quickly want to do that, here in the More menu down at the bottom is this Refresh App. Click that, takes 2 seconds to refresh, and then what that's going to do is just kind of make sure it pulls in any recent updates. Okay. So that is the full menu, and basically on the home page, we kind of went through each of these items. These are just going to give you some quick buttons to go to the poster voting, or the poster search. So one of the things that looks like came up as a question is to how to vote for the poster competition. So what we're doing to track the voting for the poster competition is if you wanted to go in and actually mark a poster as a favorite. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be counting the favorites of every poster to be able to count that towards a vote. Okay. So definitely keep that in mind when you're looking at the poster list. Marking it as a favorite will give it a vote. Like I said, the activity feed, attendees, exhibit hall map, exhibitors, general information, so things about the Congress, the registration hours, continuing education credit. So there's some additional content here if you'd like to review. And then the last button here is, again, just our global search. So if you're looking for anything in the app, anything at all, any keyword, this is the way to do it. Okay, another question that has come up, can I send my notes to my postdoc or secretary? So when it comes to any notes that you have taken in the app, when you click into your My IASP Experience area and you click into My Notes, you can export your notes. And what that's going to do is that's going to export it to your email address. From there, feel free to then forward that email to whoever you need to send it to. But the exporting option is just going to automatically send it to the email address that is on your profile. Again, your profile information is directly pulled from your registration. So if you need to make any changes to your registration, you can come in here to edit registration, and that will automatically log you in to your registration record on the registration website. So that is basically, in a nutshell, how to use the mobile app. So we are just going to move on here to our Q&A portion. I'm seeing some more questions coming up in the chat. So if you have any questions about anything app related or anything, even, event related, start popping those questions up in the chat and we will start to address them as they come through. Okay, so another question. Will I have to log in each time I open the app? Great question. No, you will not. Thankfully, if you close the app and reopen it, all you have to do is log in one time. That information is stored within your device. So it knows every time that you reopen the app that you are already logged in. It knows who you are. Now, I do want to encourage that if you are using the app in its web mobile state in the desktop version, obviously you do want to be logged in here. If you're on desktop and let's say you have your cookies to automatically clear, then perhaps you might be logged out the next time you open a fresh browser, but you only need to log in one time per device. So you can log in on your desktop and then also then log in on your phone, and your profile is automatically connected. So all you have to do is log in one time. So that's great because you don't have to remember that random 5-letter access code. So again, if you need any assistance in terms of finding that information, even if you are not logged in, you can still gain access to the app and send us an email at app support if you are having trouble getting access to your login or having trouble logging in, perhaps due to the privacy policy if you're an international attendee. Okay. So that was the next question. If iOS sends an update, will that mess up the app or my saved information? Absolutely not. We will send frequent updates, not necessarily actual version releases from the app stores. However, that is possible. As you know, apps are constantly coming out with updates for, just feature updates or bug fixes, things like that. So any app that you have ever downloaded, I'm sure you've been prompted to update from your app store. That does not affect in any way any of your stored information. It will not log you out in any way either. But the big version releases from the app stores are few and far between. Most often it is just simple content within the app. So for example, let's say we had a last minute room change on one of our sessions. We want to make sure we have that information updated. So we don't have to do an app release to do that. We can just simply change that information in the content that displays in the app. For example, like this is a room location if that needed to be updated. There is on occasion, you possibly would see like an update message, pop up in your app. And I encourage you guys definitely, anytime you see an update pop up within the app, just click that. It is the same as if we went to manually refresh, takes 2 seconds, and it just basically is going to update any recent changes to the content within the app. Okay. So I'm not seeing any more questions. I'll give it another minute, see if we have any additional questions come up.
We do have another question, Melissa. It's not related to the app, but we can definitely answer it. So the question is, will the Congress venue have full free Wi-Fi? And the answer is yes. So Wi-Fi is available to all of IASP's attendees. You would simply just need to connect to the Wi-Fi that's available at the Boston Convention Exhibition Center.
Thank you, Brittany. I just saw that question pop up. So great. Thank you so much.
Well, if there are no more questions, we are ready to wrap up this webinar. We would really like to thank Melissa for a great presentation. Thank you, Melissa, so much for demonstrating the World Congress on Pain app, which can be downloaded from your favorite app store by searching IASP World Congress 2018 or simply searching IASP in the Apple Play Store or Google Play Store. If you need additional support or require logging assistance, please use the email that's on the screen.
She didn't switch back.
And we would also like to thank everyone for participating in this webinar, for those who are listening via the webinar or for those who are listening live on our Facebook stream, and thank you for submitting your questions. One final note, this webinar is recorded and it will be available this afternoon. So if you would like to replay it, if you have a colleague who was not able to listen in live, but you think it would be valuable information for them to have, you'll be able to share this information with them, and a link will be available on the Congress website. We hope you enjoyed the webinar today and are ready to get the most out of your Congress experience by using the Congress app. Thank you so much for attending, and we look forward to seeing you at the World Congress on Pain in Boston. Take care. Goodbye.